This episode of Akram's Ideas, it is another Fave find, so stay tuned. Hello and welcome. I'm Akram Tagavi Barath, and you're watching Akram's Ideas, bringing creative and crazy ideas to life. This is yet another Fave Finds episode where I share with you some of the Fave finds I picked up while out and about and antiquing. To see more episodes like this, be sure to click the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to get notified of new videos. So the items that I'm going to share with you, I picked up various points throughout the late summer, early autumn. And I'm not going to go in any particular order, but I am going to start with these little fun pieces of jewelry here. Now, in early July, I mentioned going to Tokyo in Tulsa, which is an anime/Comic-Con type event here in Tulsa. And I was actually there because we had a booth for our computer science department that I was manning. But while I was there, I managed to do some shopping around the convention floor. And I actually picked up a couple of necklaces from a booth called Miyuka, and I'll put the link in the comments below to her SD shop. But she had a handful of cute necklaces, and the first one that I got was this lovely kawaii necklace. And kawaii is just Japanese for basically a synonym for cute. So kawaii. And so I thought that that was just adorable. I actually wanted it with the pink lettering, but she only had the purple. But it's still super cute, and I can't wait to wear that one. She also had a Bill Cipher necklace from the series Gravity Falls. And as you may recall, a few years ago, I did a whole video Halloween special where I dressed up as Mabel Pines from Gravity Falls and made the whole Mabel Pines rainbow sweater. So, I did actually wear my Mabel costume the last day of the convention, and so on the first day I picked up the Bill Cipher so that I could wear it with my Mabel costume. So I was very happy to have found him, and it's just a cute little novelty item. And of course nobody gets it unless you're a fan of Gravity Falls, but personally I'm a big fan of Gravity Falls. The next event that happened was the Oklahoma Pinup Bazaar, which basically was sort of like a flea market where you get a booth and you can sell and trade, and it was also open to the public. And my younger sister Zainab, who on Instagram is @WorldFullOfZane, actually had a booth selling her jewelry. She is an amazing artist. She does these watercolor prints, but she also does these amazing necklaces and bracelets and earrings. And so she had a booth at the Pinup Bazaar selling those items. And of course I came down to attend the Pinup Bazaar as well as support her with her booth. And she actually sold some items there with her first sale. It was her first attempt at getting out at the craft fairs and things like that. So I'm wishing her the best of luck, and I'll put the link in the comments below to her Instagram where you can look at some of her jewelry and things like that. She's going to try to start selling them online too, but she's been real nervous about selling in general, so we finally talked her into it, and it was pretty successful. But at the Pinup Bazaar, besides her selling her jewelry, there were lots of other booths that were selling vintage or vintage reproduction type stuff. And I got a couple of things. The first item I got were these adorable pink cat's eye sunglasses. And I have been looking for cat's eye sunglasses for quite a while. I had some that I bought from ModCloth, a few years ago now, and unfortunately I broke them. So I wanted to get some more, and ModCloth doesn't seem to have them anymore in the size that I wanted. I mean, like, you can get cat size sunglasses at the store and stuff, but they're like super huge lenses, and I wanted something more authentic. And so these babies here were amazing, and they were only $6. So I really was happy with that. I also got at the Pinup Bazaar this beautiful little brooch. It's sort of made of resin, and it has a sort of a Japanese silhouette of a Japanese geisha with cherry blossoms and a fan, and it was just a really nice brooch. It was only $4. I was really happy with that. But the best find of the day was my red trench coat. So this is a trench coat, and on the tag it says it was from the 1980s, which I believe it. It looks like it's from the 1980s. And here it is, my red trench coat. It was $10, and I don't really need another coat. I mean, yeah, I don't really need another coat, but I could not resist. And just wearing it, I mean, I've got a big red fedora that I'm going to pair with it, but tell me it does not scream Carmen Sandiego. You remember Carmen Sandiego? How many of you, in the comments below, tell me how many of you watched Carmen Sandiego? Now, there was Carmen Sandiego, the cartoon, which I watched occasionally, but there was the PBS show Carmen Sandiego, which was, of course, the geography contest competition, and I would watch that like religiously, come home from school, turn that on, and see if I couldn't name the continents on the map faster than the kids on that show. So that was the Pinup Bazaar. So the next few items I got antiquing a variety of different times, and most of these, I believe all of these came from a trip to Joplin. So one of my favorite Joplin antiques had one of these items, or not more than these. So I'll put the links in the comments below to my Fave antique stores if you're ever up in the Joplin area. So the first thing that I'm going to go through, and I got a couple of items of a bunch of different things. So let's start with the random stuff. The first random stuff is that my niece, Layla, she went to Disney World this summer, and she just fell in love with Tinkerbell. And lo and behold, while I was antiquing, I also came across for like, I don't know, I think she was like $3, a Tinkerbell doll. And she's really good condition. She's, I love it when they got the joints in their arms too, a nice jointed doll. But this little doll has a button on the back of her wings where you press it, if I can hold her up straight, where you press it and her wings flap. But if she doesn't want it, I'm keeping it. Because I do have a collection of Disney collectibles, so she can always go with me. But otherwise, she's for Layla. Some sewing related items that were not patterns was this 10 yards of trim. Look at that trim. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's like a gradient of a light blue to a dark blue to a navy with this circular pattern. And it's 10 yards, so it's quite a bit here. But I immediately saw this and thought this would be amazing trim on the bottom of a denim skirt. I think would be amazing. And there's 10 yards, so I'll have plenty left over to do something else with. So at a couple of the antique stores, I also got a bunch of jewelry. One of which is that my husband, ever since was it before we got married? I think it was before we got married. We were still dating, and he bought me for Christmas one year a cat brooch where the tail swang back and forth. And that unfortunately got washed one time in the washer, so it's got it banged up now. But ever since then, I've been fond of cat brooches, and growing up, I had a cat, so we don't have a cat now, and for good reasons. It get lost in the mess of what we call our house and fabric rooms, and who knows, we'd come home and it'd never be around. But I do really like cat stuff. So he found this lovely little brooch where it's a mirror with a cat sort of staring into the mirror, and I thought that was really pretty. He is also really big into ocean and marine life, and we used to, before we moved a long while ago, we had a 55-gallon saltwater tank. So he immediately spotted this lovely coral brooch. So it looks like coral, and it's got these little pearls on it, and he thought it was really, really nice. And as did I, since I love anything nautical in theme, and so I snagged that one. And then I picked up a couple of just random earrings. I always have been a fan of hoop earrings of any shape, size, and color. I did find some really nice blue hoops. I also found this beautiful sort of emerald jade green hoop. It's a smaller size hoop than I normally wear, but I thought the color was just so beautiful and it popped really well. And in fact, this color would look amazing with my sea turtle honeycomb dress because there's a lot of nice little greens in that dress. The next few are kind of all the same color tone. They're sort of, they look like Mentos to me, but I got some of these blue, I'm going to call them Mentos, blue Mentos earrings, and then a sort of a lighter mint greeny blue Mentos earrings. And then the same type and style, only more oblong, so they kind of look more jelly beany in a way, but they still have that Mentos matte color of it. And these are kind of a shade in between the other two shades. So those were the jewelries that I picked out. And I'm really happy with these little Mentos earring stuff. I think they look very vintage, very 1950s. And in fact, they go really well with this little outfit because I've got some blue tones in my blouse here. So that was the jewelry that I got. Moving along, I always tend to pick up a couple of purses when I'm antiquing, and I think I mentioned it in my last vintage finds, is that sometimes the purses are not always the biggest of sizes, and it's hard to wear, but they make good props for photos. Now, the purses I came across this time are actually a decent size. The first one is this sort of velvety black one here, and it is... I am really surprised. It says Lewis on here, and that icon, I feel like I've seen it before. I know it's vintage, but it's a fairly decent size purse. So it's got 3 pockets and then a clasp section in the center. And it's a very nice everyday purse, good for the office. Now, the next one is this lovely denim purse with sort of these orange beading on it and wooden handles. I've got a couple of purses this shape and size, and most of them are just kind of open at the top, but what I really liked about this one is that it actually has a zipper. So it actually makes it closable, so you don't have to worry about your stuff falling out of it. The last purse that I picked up, and I actually walked by and didn't even notice, and then walked back around the aisle and came across it, is this beautiful emerald jade purse with a gold chain. I mean, look at that. And it's brand new. It still has the handle in the plastic. It still had the little tag on it. It's got a really... nice clasp here that you press both sides, and it's even got the sponge in it to keep it in place. It is really nice. I'm going to say it's one of those fake designer bags meant to look all designery, but not really a designer bag. Something like this is you could probably buy it online for like 20 bucks or something. It's got that weird kind of meshy plastic feel to it, but I think I paid $5 for this, and it is really nice and sturdy. Like I said, it's brand spanking new, and I think it'll look beautiful with some of my autumnal clothes. It's not an incredibly big purse, but it will fit a wallet. So I think that's really all I need. The last little stack of items here are some hats. And one day I'm going to have to do a video on my hats because I just have a ton of hats. I've got a whole wall of hats and then a ton of hat boxes full of hats and stuff. And I don't really need any more hats, but sometimes you just can't pass up some hats. So this is a hat from Bullocks, California is what it's called. And I put this on. I mean, look at that. Look at that. That is so late 30s, 40s style hat. I mean, that is just cool. So I really liked that one. I'm all about the bucket hats. I love bucket hats. So I have quite a lot of bucket hats. The first one is this dark brown. I mean, with these beautiful autumnal flowers. It's just so pretty. Now this one is a gray one, and again, very similar in shape and style. So along with the gray one, I actually got another gray one, but this is more traditional hat, almost fedora style. Actually, it is more of a fedora, isn't it? So this is another fedora type 1940s looking hat here. So I need to actually organize my hat collection, figure out what all I have, what all I am really attached to, and then maybe just weed out the ones that I'm not attached to. So for right now, I'm kind of attached to these, obviously. So that was the hats that I got. And that is all the antiques and novelty stuff that I picked up in the last few months. Like I said, I did pick up a whole bunch of sewing patterns, but that'll be in another video. And of course, I went to Joplin, as I mentioned earlier. So there is going to be the epic fabric haul video. And that should be my last fabric haul video for the year because it's epic. And I don't really need to be doing another fabric haul anytime soon. So the epic fabric haul video will be coming to you soonish. I'd love to hear in the comments below if you've picked up any cool antiques or fave finds. Thanks for watching.
I'm not... Tell me it does not scream Carmen Sandiego. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?